You're tuning into the Black Fire Radio. Greetings to the South Nation Show every Monday to Friday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. The Pan-African Tuesday. Greetings across the African continent. And tuning into the African Good Show.
Yes, welcome to Karibuni sana. And of course, have an amazing blessing. Karibuni sana to another beautiful episode right here on the Blackout Fire Network radio station, media of the 21st century. Of course, we are the #1 international online radio. Karibuni sana. My name is Joby, and of course, this is the Pan-African Bliss. It is exactly 10 minutes to 1 p.m. right here in Kenya. I don't know what's the time, and of course, where you're listening to me from. In case this is the first time right here, Karibu sana. I hope you're looking forward to stick with me till the end of the show as we have an amazing, positive discussion. Karibuni sana, big up to Kid in the building. I see you already. You are up, and also see we got Julie in the building, and also see we got Ebenezer. Karibu sana, and to everyone who's right here with me on TikTok, Karibuni sana. Kindly tap the screen and follow the host, and of course, do enjoy the conversation of today. That was Tiwa Savage playing right here, and of course, the name of the jam is Tales and Moonlight, an album, like I say all the time, released 2-3 years ago, and of course, these are some of my playlists that I get to pick from that amazing album. Today we shall be talking about Burkina Faso. I'll be sharing something positive coming from the Burkina Faso, that is the Burkina Faso junta, that is Ibrahim Traoré. And of course, he has something positive to talk about when it comes to Africa. And this is something that the West, for so long, they have been using like a weapon when they speak about the poverty porn that they have themselves been fueling. And literally, pouring outside there, since they are the ones that control the media, about the African continent, about the people, about the resources, about the leadership that they also control and select the people. That is what we shall be talking about. And this is actually comes as a disappointment to the West, because every time they hear, especially these three countries that I'll be sharing facts about in a few minutes, about Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, when they hear actually positive any talk that has been made about the military juntas, it is always a problem. They always, they feel very, very threatened. So we shall be discussing this, pouring it down. I'll be coming also back, of course, once a week. I want to educate you and, of course, keep you on the know of what is happening. Last week, I did share something positive when it comes to, I don't know if it is positive, to Nigerians, Ghanaians, all the Western people in Africa. I know it is positive when it comes to eating snakes, when it comes to, shout out to Lupita for trying a whole viper. Is super nasty and crazy for eating tortoise and all that. But today I'll be sharing something when it comes to fruits and how these originate. Most of these fruits that have also been contaminated with chemicals by the white people, and now we cannot even use them. When you talk about herbs, like I was speaking about last week and a few weeks ago, when it comes to a lot of things we can use as ingredients, our seeds coming from fruits and different types of also plants. I'll be sharing that, and of course I hope you get to enjoy. So karibuni sana, and also I'll be talking about what is happening in Kenya when it comes to the visa free that was introduced by our very own dear president. It comes with a lot of disappointment, because actually during this weekend we had around 2,141 visa-free foreigners who did land in our international airport, and of course they were arrested, majority of them. But also this comes with a lot of confusion, because I see reports coming from the BBC this early morning is that there are people coming from Malawi, different parts of Africa, who say that Kenya actually did not introduce any visa free. This is all a scam, and actually they have made things more difficult for Africans who did not need a visa before. So we'll be talking about this and try to understand what the confusion, or where the confusion is coming from. So karibuni sana once again. This is by the one and only Still See You a Savage, Dangerous Love. Hope you guys get to enjoy this, and I'll be coming back with the quote of the day. Remember, if you have anything positive you want to share, the floor is open. Feel free to share anything positive. And in case you don't have our app, I'd love to remind you to download our Black Hot Fire Network application, so you can stream live with us also via the radio station. Well, I think they're informing me that the app is still not yet back on the Google Play Store, but you can also go, listen to us via the website. That is on the www.blackofirenetwork.com. I believe that should not prevent you from streaming with us. So kindly do enjoy our amazing show. Yes, and my quote of the day today is just gratitude, and it's to all the people in my life who make me smile, support me, and bring me joy. A big thank you to all of you, and to all the Black Hot Fire Network amazing listeners and subscribers, and to all the people we've been able to connect with right here on TikTok. We really, really appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for supporting us on a daily, always coming back, and of course learning something with us. That is a big thank you to you, and of course a blessed week to all of you. Every time I think about it, yes, this is the Pan-African Bliss, and of course you're listening to the Black Hot Fire Network radio station. Once again, this is the media of the 21st century, and we are the #1 online, international online radio station. We are connected in Kenya. We are all the way in the United States, Florida, and of course we were unfortunately, and like, not to say we were in Uganda or rather we are in Uganda, but unfortunately the studios in Uganda have been shut down. These are, due to some few inconveniences, but we are looking forward to expand and be able to connect with people who are going to be able to connect also and work with us. But nonetheless, karibuni sana once again. Hope you guys get to enjoy the show of today. As I start straight with what I promised, I want to share facts about some food that are really, really important. The watermelon are. I don't think explain that, especially us being melanated people. We know the importance of melon, but I don't think we know much more when it comes to the seed and how helpful they are. So let me share this very quickly. It's a short video of this lady who explains majority of the importance of the food and which are rooted from the African continent.
African foods are loved the world over, including in America, North and the South, where they've been adopted into their. Here's a quick reminder.
I see on StreamYard we have not been able to share. Okay, all right, let me start that so that I can be able to be on the same page with the people on StreamYard.
African foods are loved the world over, including in America, North and the South, where they've been adopted into their culture. The African roots, though, are sometimes forgotten. So here's a quick reminder. Let's start with Coca-Cola, a classic American drink. No an ingredient, it would be impossible to make. Cola nuts.
What I got from this, I didn't know actually the cola nuts actually are the ones that are purposely needed to make the Coca-Cola. But of course, when you talk about how the white people have also tampered with our roots of culture, of how we used to use our seeds in positive way. They have all tampered with all this. Now, majority of us, like Keith, I think lately you can't even drink Dr. Pepper because I think we've spoken of how it is effective to the body. Either too much sugar, which adds too much fat in the body, and a lot of things that also pile up when it comes to the body because we are dealing with people who can take anything. But this is positive to know that actually the cola seeds are the main components that are used when it comes to the creation of Coca-Cola drink.
Used as a flavoring in a number of beverages. They originate from West Africa.
Right. So my internet is lagging on StreamYard, all right? Page.
Stateside, especially in the South, where they feature prominently in local dishes. South Africa's favorite summer fruits: Florida, Georgia, Texas, and California.
Florida, I hope Keith, you're taking a lot of watermelon. I heard Florida people, you love watermelons.
All produce it in huge quantities, but Africans were the first to enjoy its refreshing flavors. In fact, ancient Egyptian pharaohs would be entombed not just with riches, but also watermelons. Got to stay hydrated in the afterlife, right? Black-eyed peas are packed with protein.
Karibu sana Keith, how you doing?
Santi Sana, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. So So Karibu, I'm just sharing this short clip over here. This lady is explaining of the importance of most of the seeds and the fruits that we have. She's explaining of the benefits of the watermelon seeds, and she just gave an example of how the Florida people actually love and enjoy watermelon. So I hope you're consuming a lot of them, you know,
I
because
think everybody in the United States that likes watermelon. It's not just Florida. They're probably growing in Florida and California because of the weather. California and Florida has temperate weather, warm weather, so they're better to grow. I think more watermelons actually. I think more.
You grew up eating a lot of watermelon.
What now?
You grew up eating a lot of watermelon. That's what I'm trying to get, because you come from California, right?
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I grew up eating a lot of watermelon. Watermelon is delicious.
No, it's not. Thank you. I pass. She's also going to explain the benefits of the okra. She's going to explain the benefits of also the okra seed. So let me share this.
American farmers used to feed their cows with them, which is why they are also known as cowpeas, and only reached the continent along the slave routes of West Africa. Have long branded the bean as theirs, but it was actually first discovered in Ethiopia by a goat hunter called Calvi. It's spread by Yemen, South America on Dutch boats.
That's it. She shared a few facts about the benefits of the watermelon, the seeds, the cola seeds, which I didn't know actually that the cola seeds, the cocoa seeds are used in, as a beverage of making the cocoa soda, the Coca-Cola soda. That is something positive that I learned during this weekend. And of course, the benefits of
all soda, Jody. It's not just Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is just the name of the brand. It's the name of the brand. But Pepsi Cola, Coca-Cola, all cola has to have cocoa seeds. All cola.
Okay.
So it doesn't make a difference. But yeah, that's just a brand name. But all soda has to have that cocoa seed in it.
It's a learning curve, kid. Calm down. Shout out to you, Norman. Thank you so much for tapping the screen and saying hi, Mambos. Nico Fiti, how are you? How was your weekend? And thank you so much for tuning into the Black Fire Network radio station. My name is Joby, and this is the Pan-African Bliss. Now, to the positive news. Today, I'm trying to keep it as much as positive as it can, because it's so sad when you see every time we're reporting things, it's always the week starts with a lot of negativity. So the next thing I want to talk about
they took down the whole show Friday, right? Everywhere.
Man.
Everywhere.
I want us to talk about it. I remember even Demore, when he was live on Saturday, they also took down his show on Facebook as well. That was on Saturday when you guys were doing the show.
Yeah.
His show was taken down. The stream was taken down. It is super, super crazy. But we shall keep on preaching the truth. And I believe Africa is moving towards revolution. They shall no longer hide this truth from African people, because I think we're so ready for it. People are so ready. But I want to share some fun facts or other facts about Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. This is since their independence, which we see the West calling a coup d'etat. That's how they call it, a coup d'etat. But of course, since the independence,
how dare you throw it out, puppet? It's a coup. Get out.
I mean. And shout out to Nana Akufo-Addo, man. These people are just coons. I relate to the video which I was sharing some time back last week, which when he was called by Anthony Guterres to discuss about what conspired when Burkina Faso took over independence, he was like, yeah, these people, there's no way they can just take over power, They need to be, I'll be helping you to do 1, 2, 3 things. This shows how divided of Africa and politics, how controlled it is, because that's something I mentioned actually earlier beginning the show, how politics is so controlled and who is in charge of Africa. Because if one man, we should be able to question, why is it that I can't make a rule of my own country? I need a white man giving me dictation, because it's always a dictation and a lecture of how I need to run my system, how I need to operate my toilet, how I need to run the. Come on, for how long? But glad again with the unity that these three countries have formed, because this is what for so long we've been talking about when we talk about the African Union, which we don't know who formed this goddamn organization. That doesn't work for Africans. Never worked for Africans. But let me share these fun facts very quickly about Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali. And one of them is that the IMF projects in Niger and Burkina Faso are to be the world's fourth and ninth fastest growing economies. Like I think that was last year we were checking about the economic growth of Niger, which in terms of especially agriculture, it is fastening so fast. Burkina Faso as well, it's doing great. And they're saying that this is respectfully in 2024, this year, it's supposed to be, for Niger, it's supposed to be 11%, and for Burkina Faso, it's supposed to rise by 6.4%. And Niger and Benin, one of the also facts is that they did collaborate to complete Africa's longest oil pipeline and build to lift Niger's GDP by 24%. Another fact by Mali is that they signed a radical new law to take more control of the country's vast mineral resource, mostly run by foreign funds, which is very positive, because the other day I was talking about where we had Giorgia Meloni talking to us about how Africa does not need charity. We need a cooperation. But when you look at the cooperation these people have been talking about for so long, it's never beneficial to Africans. It's always inequality. It is always someone whose benefits higher and more than the people who are literally mining and being exploited through the production of these resources, you know. So another thing also we have is that Burkina Faso nationalized its sugar sector that was privatized by it did nationalize and the sector privatized, which we see Kenya right now. Exactly.
I know what they do with Kenya right now, exactly, Joe. It's the stealing of the wealth of a country and giving it to white people. That's what I was trying to teach the Maury two weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. This because of the loans, because you had just recently on Saturday discussed about the tax, how it told you very well how now people are being taxed. If you're earning this amount, you're going to be deducted. And you'll find the majority of the people are even earning literally some peanuts, and you end up being taxed a lot of money because the country has been stealing a lot of funds that does not accumulate for anything, ends up in their pocket, and we end up being the ones, which is super, super crazy. And Africans need to be able to realize this, because we're thinking in poverty while we literally keep on making the wealthy people who are stealing wealthier. Another fun fact still about these three countries is that we saw French troops and ambassadors being expelled amid the growing anti-French Semitic in Sahel. Of course, there's always an anti-French Semitic all the time. Every time we see Africans trying to do something, it's always an anti. You are an anti. You're an anti. I'm trying to be independent. That is what you don't want to say. Come on. Burkina Faso also did rename.
Because with independence, Africa goes from the bottom to the top. The reason why Africa people are poor, the continent's not poor. The reason why the people are poor, because they don't control no parts of Africa. That's why. That's what colonialism was, to come in and steal Africa.
And that is what Ibrahim Traoré is going to be explaining on the video I'll be sharing. We also had Burkina Faso renaming the key Boulevard, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, Boulevard, from Colonial Charles de
Charles de Gaulle. They give rid of all the white names and rename them African names like they should have did 60 years ago. But they should have did 60 years ago when they supposedly got independent. Why you got all these white people names still up?
Because they control the country. They still hold power, so much power in Africa, so much power. And also another thing that Mali did do is drop in the French as official language, replacing it with 13 local dialects. And of course, we saw this was at the beginning of the year 2023. And also French-led G5 Sahel dissolved after Burkina Faso and Mali and Niger quit Chad, Mauritania followed suit in December. That was leaving the French G5, which we saw that this G5 this French-led G5 Sahel that has been created. It's supposed to be here, but this actually comes as an example of the UN peacekeepers, because Burkina Faso went and broke it down how these people have been here for so long, trying to maintain peace, but instead of peace, we keep on seeing terrorists piling up and civilians end up dying. So what is going on? There's a question that needs to be questioned. A math is not mathing right here, and something needs to be subtracted, and which is this G5, which they did quit. That was actually very recently, towards the end of the year. And of course, the third one, another one is a trio. The trio formed the Alliance of Sahel States in September to assist in mutual security and economic development. Of course, we saw these three countries participating in this, and which also Russia, we can see it's participating in terms of security, because we've seen them offering now true weapons for these countries to be able to fight the terrorism that has been happening. And also Mali did recapture the northern town of Kidal after 9-year occupation by rebels. We also saw that. And Burkina Faso also signed nuclear power plant construction deal with Russia. So those are the positive information coming from these three countries. And so far, like you can see, by 2024, we should see a positive massive change, because of now they're taking control of their resources. We should see a massive, especially economically, we should see a very big, massive change. And I do believe they do have a very good and great direction. And this is why during the weekend we had Ibrahim Traoré giving a speech to the people of his country through a national televised news, and telling them how and what steps they're looking for to take. The next coming
today is also a fight of culture.
So he's explaining about how he understands, or rather how it has taken so long for Africa to understand what colonialism did to them, how we've been practicing and still participating in this colonialism, and which is why through what they did in 2023, that was in 2022, and them forming this unity they have with Mali, Niger, and them, is what Africa should have done long time ago. So let me share this very quickly. And of course, Keith, I hope you're going to be giving your review. What you think?
Notice, by posing a diagnosis of the problem, that colonization uprooted us. We lost our culture, our beautiful culture, which teaches us peace, solidarity, togetherness. We have.
So in simple terms, what he's trying to even explain a dummy, I'm sorry to say. Even if you are so dumb by just what Ibrahim Traoré just said right here, that our culture was stolen and we started practicing culture that was not ours, it should ring you a bell that history has been manipulated. What does this tell us when he says, because I'll start it again, when he says that we had a culture of practicing peace. You know, we were humble people. We were rich people. We didn't have all this greediness we have. We didn't have all this, aggressiveness we have right now. Really happening, you know? That is what even if you are so dumb right now, that is what I'm saying. Even if you are so dumb, you should be able to connect some dots right here and understand how comes there's a new leader and he's taking us back to culture. What is that culture? That should make you more intuited to knowing more about your history.
During that year, the fight we are waging today is also a fight of culture. As you will have noticed, by posing a diagnosis of the problem, we understood that colonization uprooted us. We lost our culture, our beautiful culture, which teaches us peace, solidarity, togetherness. We have lost its values. That is why we want culture to occupy an important place, therefore, in our society.
Welcome to Candid Africa, truthful and unapologetic.
People of Burkina Faso, comrades, fighters for freedom, peace, sovereignty, and real independence.
Nzuri, Joro Mosquito, habari yako nawe, waendeleaje? Nice to see you, yeah?
It is an honor and a pleasure for me to address you on the threshold of the new year 2024.
Shout out to Mike. Thank you so much for following the host, and Karibu Sana.
I wish you, Burkina Faso, from within and from outside, to the friends and partners of Burkina Faso, a happy new year 2024. Let us give thanks to God, who allowed us to see this day, which marks the end of the year 2023. Let us also pray to the good Lord for those who gave their lives for the independence of Burkina Faso in the reconquest of our territory.
I don't want to comment on the religion part. I believe we're still learning. He's still learning as well. So this is why he's here.
May their souls
say
rest in
that.
peace.
Most Africans have been caught
On
up
the
in
free
slavery.
land of
They've
Burkina
been all
Faso,
colonized in the
we also
mind.
pray
You
that
got
God
to say
grants
that.
health to all those who today find themselves.
That's true. That is true. I see John Mosquito is saying that Brother Kid, I didn't know you did a show on Saturday. Yes, he did. He did the Cat Williams show again. I think he did the whole thing now fully. You can catch it up over there. Kid, I need the name of that jam. The first jam you started with. I really need the name of that jam.
I don't know the name. I don't know the name of the jam. It's some. I use. That's why you guys videos keep going down. You guys use copyrighted music. I use uncopyrighted music. So I don't know who that is.
How do you have music? How do you have music on your playlist and you don't know? If you have music on your playlist and you don't know who you're listening to?
It's not my playlist. I go to YouTube. I say, give me uncopyrighted music. They give me a bunch of jams. They don't have no names on it. And they give me a bunch of songs that's uncopyrighted. And then I play the ones I like.
All right. John Mosquito, yes, he did.
Themselves injured as a result of attacks by terrorists and who led the noble fight for our freedom. We are in solidarity with all these people who had to lead their country and who today find themselves internally displaced people. Comrades, 2023 was a year during which we made a deep analysis of the situation in Burkina Faso. A year during which we made a deep diagnosis of the words that undermine Burkina Faso, which led to important decisions being taken.
And undermine the rest of the African country, because it's not just Burkina Faso being undermined. It's all the African countries always undermined with all.
He knows that, Joey, but he's only the president of Burkina Faso. He knows that.
Yeah, I'm just telling people.
These decisions were meant to break the first chains of slavery, imperialism, and neo-colonialism. Because, let's say, you cannot hope to find your lost object by calling for help from the one who stole it from you. 2023 was a year where many initiatives saw the light of day. On December 11, we summarized everything we have taken as an initiative in the defense field, in the health field, and especially in the field of food self-sufficiency. Many industrialization and development initiatives have been launched. This is the place for me to salute the Burkinabe people for their resilience, for having understood the meaning of the fight that we are waging for the reconquest of the territory.
Which is very important. I'll pause on that to just debate a little bit on it. Because I think I was saying this last week, if Africans, even if we want to have a revolution and we don't have, which we keep on mentioning, an organization, if we don't organize how things we want them to run, and the biggest part is where the people should engage with the current true democracy or true independent a government, that would be a problem. Because I don't know, for a country like Nigeria, which is how many tribes again? 200 and what? Talk about Kenya, talk about different countries. Literally, when you talk about tribalism, which is number one leading us just within the community, leave alone the country, it will be a problem. Just what he mentioned, thanking the people of Burkinabe for backing him up. If the people of the country does not back up the true leader, it's gonna be a problem. That's, I don't know if I think I made sense. I think it did make sense over there. That is what needs to happen.
And for the independence of Burkina Faso, 2024 will be a year during which we will continue this fight and neo-colonialism that prevent us from experiencing happiness. During this year, 2024, we will continue the efforts to reconquer the territory and amplify the struggle. That is why, on the side of defense, we will see the creation of the 1st Combat Brigade. which we have called the Special and Rapid Intervention Brigade. It will bring together different rapid intervention battalions, a group of special forces, and a specific group. This is part of the reorganization of our army, its rearticulation, and the relocation of the different forces. So we aim to have a strategic equipment plan and a plan for the reorganization of the different forces that came to light in 2023. This will materialize in 2024 by the arrival, therefore, of new heavy means of protection, and therefore, an increase in the firepower of combat units. In addition to this aspect, we must know that 2024 will also be a year of challenge because we have set ourselves objectives in the area, therefore, of reconquest, and also, therefore, the return of the various IDPs to their locality and their security. During the year 2023, as I told you, many initiatives have been started, and in 2024, we will have to be able to deepen and really implement everything that we have started. In particular, the Presidential Initiative for Food Self-Sufficiency, and also the Agro-Pastoral Offensive of the Ministry of Agriculture, which was recently launched. The dry campaign is underway in all of these two initiatives so that we can, during the year 2024, meet the needs and approach food self-sufficiency. This is a challenge for us, and I, therefore, invite the people of Burkina Faso to take ownership of these initiatives and to be able to launch themselves wherever you are so that the state can also support you and that we can meet these challenges. In the field of industrialization, and also, therefore, everything that can go in the direction of bringing more to all these valiant traders who do their best to serve the different localities from Burkina Faso, many initiatives will be taken in this direction. The PC is already launched, which will allow us to have a certain number of factories, but many initiatives are to come during the year 2024. During the year 2024, we will again ask the Burkinabe people to be able to take ownership of the Presidential Initiative for Common Development. After analysis of the health situation, as we said on December 11th, we must be able to rebuild our cities and be able to clean up. It will, therefore, be a question of the populations taking ownership of this initiative and being able to embark on sanitation, urbanization, and ensuring that our living environments are even more pleasant so that certain epidemics that we have experienced cannot re-emerge. During that year, the fight we are waging today is also a fight of culture. As you will have noticed, by posing a diagnosis of the problem, we understood that colonization uprooted us. We lost our culture, our beautiful culture, which teaches us peace, solidarity, togetherness. We have lost its values. That is why we want culture to occupy an important place, therefore, in our society. This is what led to today formalizing our national languages, and also to create the Community Council through, therefore, this bill which has just been adopted in the Assembly. This must lead us to return to our roots, to our traditions, to our cultures, to be able to bring back these values of solidarity which we greatly miss. These values of peace, tolerance, and mutual assistance. On the aspect of corruption, it must be said that the year 2023 was a year where this phenomenon continued. For 2024, we therefore intend to launch the machine of the fight against corruption, is the LIU. So for me, to invite all these institutions and structures which work in the fight against corruption to redouble their efforts, so that we can forever banish this phenomenon from our society.
Exactly.
We remain convinced of our trajectory, of the lineage that we have adopted. There is no better route than this that we have taken for our freedom, for our sovereignty, and so that Burkina can prosper. We are convinced, and with the Burkinabe people, we are reassured more than ever that the fight that we are waging is noble for Burkina Faso, for Lays, and for Africa as a whole. We are going to wish you a very happy New Year 2024, a year full of health, a year of combativeness, A year during which all Burkinabés will be able to cultivate love between them. A year during which we hope that the Burkinabés can make up for the differences they have experienced.
You hear what he's saying? He's not talking about the tribes in Burkina Faso. He's getting rid of that. Burkina Bay, all of us, not no tribe, not that shit that brutal. I'm killing kids. I'm this. No, we're goddamn Burkini, and then we're African. We're African people. He's also talking about corruption, understand and utilize the problem because he's educated. Corruption was brought to Africa. Africa wasn't a corrupt place. It's now beyond corrupt because of the cultures you have kept. The white man's culture is corrupt. He's always been corrupt. So now these cultures are on steroids in Africa. They've been made into a culture. 20 years, Africa wasn't corrupt like this. People always thieving, stealing, lying, trying to scam. That was anti-African. But you don't know that because you don't know your culture no more. You think corruption is normalized now. You didn't even have prisons in Africa. You understand that? Prisons were introduced with the white man. You didn't have nobody in no prison because wasn't nobody stealing shit. You didn't have a corrupt society. It's African people. You don't come from corrupt system. You do now because the system of colonialism has been imposed on you. Can you imagine? All of Africa. That's why I told you to say all of Africa did not have prisons except for the northern part where the white people took over. Those white Arabs did, but Black Africa, from South Africa to Ghana to Kenya, there were no prisons. There were no jails. There were no police. Because you were a upright, honest society. How about that? Ain't nobody locking nobody up. There was no such thing. It did not exist. So you were in it wasn't even a word for jail in Africa because there never was one. Never was one.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Look towards the future together. A year of happiness. A year during which the hopes of some others see themselves accomplished. We will not be able to end without that, and who are fighting day and night in civic vigil to protect this transition, because let's say
you guys
the
understand
enemy
why
has
they
not
always
yet
got
put
that
away its
uniform and all
actions,
that stuff on.
whether from the
He's
inside
smart, let
or
me
the
tell you. Reason why he has all that stuff on, because he knows they're going to try to poison his ass. Put somebody to touch him, somebody to rub something on him. He knows that. Shout out to John Magafoo. That's how they got his goofy ass.
Yeah.
That understanding. This is real. White man's coming. You go against him, he's coming to see you.
He can be wearing no suits. He can be wearing all these flashy suits that we see our presidents wearing. He's protecting himself.
I got that's right. I don't care about no suit. I gotta wear gloves. I gotta wear that face thing. I gotta stay alive, Joby.
Amen.
the outside. Imperialism is still active. Thank you to the people of Burkina Faso for this fight.
But guess what? He's young. He's only 35. He's not like these old Negroes, these old bumbling bastards like you see in the rest of Africa, like the 70s, like 70, all these old Kagame, old Bobby, all these old African leaders. The youth are supposed to control Africa, not these old handkerchief head Negroes. One thing with him, he's young. That's why the ideals that are fresh and new, because he's youth, he's young. He's a millennial.
And thank you to all those who, near or far, support us, whether from inside or outside.
That's another one of these old African niggas hate him.
Burkina
That's
Faso.
another one of these old puppets hate him. He's young. They hate that. They hate it down to they bone.
In the struggle. Long live Burkina Faso. May God protect Burkina Faso, the homeland or death. We will overcome.
Yes, and that was his speech over there during the weekend, of course, talking to the Burkinabe people and appreciating them for supporting him since he took over power. And for them, which most importantly, again, we as a people understanding that we have been dealing with oppression, like he said, imperialism and corruption, a lot that needs to be changed in the African continent. So in case any of us tends to have a coup, the rest of these African countries, let us be aware of what is happening. Let us actually copy and paste what Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali is doing. Let's form unity. First example, like I always question, is how East Africa has failed to form a unity, which is very powerful. We have so many countries which are still joining the East Africa.
You can't form a union. You got despots ruling East Africa. Ruto's a despot. Museveni's a despot. Kagame's a despot. And that Suluhu lady's a despot now. You don't got any free, honest people in East Africa. They're all despots.
It is so sad. It is super, super crazy. And I'm super, super proud of these three countries, of what they did last year. Congratulations again to Niger for stepping up.
That's why they're a threat. That's why they're a threat to all of Africa, because Africa, see, understand that you're one people. You have a collective consciousness, whether you like it or not. You better go look this up. You are a race of people. You're not a tribe. You're a race. You're an African race. You're not a goofy tribe. You're a race of people. So you share a collective consciousness. When one thing happens to enough Africans, it's a domino effect. It can't be stopped. That's why I told you, always go look at the 100 monkey test. You got, once 100 monkeys somewhere do something, there's monkeys all over the planet. All monkeys do it because that's a collective consciousness. If a monkey down in Australia starts doing it, 100 monkeys doing it, all the monkeys on the planet are going to start doing it. That's just like African people. Collective consciousness. Go ahead.
Yeah, and we need to understand and learn that. That's why we need to go back to history. We need to eat correctly. We need to do what is right so that we can be able to tap into a lot, which includes our culture and traditions. But last but not least, which is my closing topic, is about Kenya. And this is regarding when we had our President William Ruto saying that Kenya is now a visa-free country. Of course, this brought a lot of criticisms coming from online within the country and all that. People questioned this when it comes to especially the matters of security, which we see always or anytime, as we talk even maybe right now in some northern parts of the country, they're not peaceful. We always see there's, people, killing each other. There's always some disputes happening. Always political matters just happening, especially in the northern parts of Kenya. But the biggest question that also came is, what was the procedure? Like, what organization did he have when we introduced all this? Because right now, people even from other countries, talking about how Kenya is now failing when it comes to in terms of our leader is literally doing things that are super, super not correct. So now Kenya is facing backlash over the visa-free entry policy introduced for all foreign this month. That was this month with some terming it hectic. Some people determine it hectic. President William Ruto announced the policy last month to advocate for visa-free travel within the African continent, and Kenyan authorities have since clarified that while the country grants visa-free entry, visitors need to apply for electronic travel authorization, which I didn't understand. What do they mean by they need to apply electronic travel authorization? What do they mean, Keith?
They mean it's a goddamn visa again. That's what they mean. It's just another way of calling it. It's a scam. It's another way of calling it a visa without calling it a visa.
God damn. Yeah, so the Kenyan authorities have since clarified that while the country grants visa-free entry, visitors need to pay for electronic travel authorization by submitting documentation by paying $30 processing fee. And the requirements also...
It's still getting money. It's a visa without calling it a visa. It's a scam. It's called a scam, Joe. It's what African judges do, try to make themselves look good. We're getting rid of all the visas. It's corrupt. We're getting rid of the visas, but we're just going to call it something else. And there's $30. The same shit, Joby.
Kenya has, what what I'm trying to get from this is that Kenya cannot even be satisfied from stealing and overtaxing its country. It's now stealing from outsiders. This is so crazy. Kenya is now stealing from what it seems. Because if you're telling people your country or people coming to Kenya is now visa free, and now you're charging them.
All right, it's a scam. Yeah, just like they charging people. I know it's got to be fucking the Kenyan economy up. Because soon as Kenya said, if you fly into our country, whatever possessions you hold, we get to tax your shit. We get to tax your shit. We ain't buy that shit in Kenya. Ain't got nothing to do with Kenya. Why the hell am I paying taxes to you about some shit I bought in Canada, America, Britain, France? Are you insane? Talking about if I bought an iPhone that's worth $1,400, I gotta pay you $400 in Kenya. You sound crazy as shit.
It is crazy. The requirement also applies to countries whose citizens previously had unrestricted access to Kenya. By Sunday, Kenya had received more than 9,000 visa applications through digital platform. Authorities gave the information. But some foreigners are now criticizing the organization, saying that the new policy has created confusion and made travel to Kenya tougher and hostile.
Of course, because they believe that bullshit Ruto was saying. You're gonna be visa free when it's not. They get their hate. I'm here. They say, yeah, but you gotta pay for this. What are you talking about? There's no visa. Yeah, but we just renamed it this, the authorization, blah blah blah, which is a visa.
Electronic travel authorization.
Yeah.
There's one of the comments from one of the people from Zimbabwe, who's a journalist, who said that, dear Africans, Kenya is not telling the world the truth when it says that it's now visa free. It is not. It has in fact made traveling there more difficult for Africans who did not need a visa before. And these are journalists from Zimbabwe who did report this. And also we had a comment from a Malawian who also said that, so until 24 hours ago, as a Malawian, I could just wake up, buy a ticket and fly to Kenya in the afternoon, visa free. Now Kenya has removed visa for everyone visiting.
This is Kenya being slick, family. They're broke, so they're raising taxes any way they can because they stolen. These officials have stolen all that money. They didn't develop the country. They stole the money, so they got to find scams and schemes how to get that money so they can pay their IMF masters and their Chinese masters. That's what you're seeing.
Yep. That is what is happening. That is exactly what is happening. But they say that so until 24 hours as a Malawian, I could just wake up, buy a ticket and fly to Kenya in the afternoon, visa free. Now Kenya has removed visa for everyone visiting Kenya, but now everyone has to pay $30 travel authorization. travel. You have to pay 72 hours before travel. So if you need to come to Kenya, $30, 72 hours before travel. And they're saying that, which is very, very hectic. And some Kenyans have voiced fears that the tougher restrictions could trigger boycott by some foreigners.
Exactly. It's going to boycott it. It's going to destroy your tourism sector, which is big in Kenya. So it's going to actually make it even worse. You morons. These people going to say, well, I come to Kenya. I'm not paying that shit. I can see elephants and shit somewhere like in Zimbabwe. I can see elephants and lions in South Africa. I can see elephants and lions in Tanzania. I ain't got to come no damn Kenya to see that shit.
Oh my God. But I don't know. It is up to us because this is going to affect us as well. When you talk about trading matters, because let's say if we have someone coming from, like his example is from Malawi, from Zimbabwe, from let's say South Africa or maybe another country, and there's a business that we've been working together in terms of maybe business cooperation, and now it comes to coming, it's gonna be a problem for them. This is gonna trigger also a lot of people from the country who are going to be affected, just mentioned, and this is not
them trying to do a money grab. These morons don't understand it's bad for business.
It's not going to help because there's no economic growth at this point. We're just focusing and sweating on how we can pay the debt to the point now we're going to foreigners. This is a shame. This is a very, very big shame. This is a very big shame.
Yeah, you don't tax your way into economic growth, Joe, but that actually stifles. They're so stupid. They think that taxing all these people is going to let them pay off their debts. It's not. You stolen that money.
It won't, because
you got to have economic growth.
Mm-hmm. And we're talking about corrupt people at the same time. So let me know,
Exactly.
because we have ministers of transport and communication, and I believe these people are also among the corrupt, these cartels that we keep on talking about. So are we sure even this money is gonna pay as much as they're digging out?
We don't know. They're gonna keep on stealing it, Joby. That's the sad because it's a corrupt system. So even the money they're doing, they're not gonna use that for no debt, because those people are gonna keep stealing it.
Mm-hmm. This is so crazy and so sad, but it is up to us again, as the majority, to realize where we're being led, because this guy is talking about projects which he's supposed to do in the next coming 10 years, meaning he's here for a decade, and this is going to do a lot of damage. It's been a year so far, and a lot of damage is already being done, and it's affecting us. But what are we doing? We're chatting and talking on the internet, calling him names, calling him Zacharias of the Bible, Zachariah of the Bible, and all that. But what is happening? The same thing I see South Africans calling Ramaphosa cupcake. What was the cupcake done? Because we're giving them nicknames, and they are embracing this. They are embracing the nicknames we're giving them, thinking it's funny, but then
I don't think they embrace. I don't think cupcake is a good term, Joby, to South Africa.
I think Ramaphosa knows it's called a cupcake. The same way Ruto knows it's called Zakayo. I think Uhuru also had a name. I think apart from Munya, I think he had some different names. He was nicknamed and he had a lot of different name tags. But again, the call is upon us Africans, because the power is with us. We are the power. We are put this in people in power. As much as we know they are selected, we also have to understand we should not even care about the selection part. We know you are elected as the person of the country, as the leader of the country. So deliver. If not, we just get out of the seat. Very simple. And if not, we're gonna make it the hard way. And it's a high time, Africans, we make it the hard way. It is a high time. Our lives have been made super high. And things are literally accumulating. Every single day we're talking about the cost of living going higher and higher. We're having Indians, Chinese taking over our businesses and thinking this is a job. No, colonialism is in front of our eyes. We need to wake up. That is just my simple remarks of today. We need to wake up and call upon revolution. And again, this is actually to the parents. If you are actually a young parent here and you have kids, I really pity you. And if you're not woke, I really pity the generation of today, especially people who are, let's say, our age, and they have kids, and you not really walk about what is happening around the world. I swear I pity you. Because this child is not only going to be fed the same information and the same mentality you have, which this is not the mindset we really want. I fear for that type of group of people. So I really hope majority of us, as much as you're willing to settle down, have kids, you know what you're doing. You don't want to grow up another generation of dummies, another generation of people who are miseducated. And I'm sorry to say dummies, because that's how we're considered as Africans, like it or not. We need to grow up knowing that we're bright people, and we need to act like it. We need to go and act like it. That's just how simple it is. So much love. That's my closing remarks of today's show. And of course, that's the topic I had put to you. Any closing remarks, Kip?
Yeah. When you get done, call me so I know what the heck you're talking about.
That is not a closing remark.
My closing remark is, I know, shout out to Joby, your hair looks nice. I know you went and got your hair done.
I did dreadlocks. Can you imagine? I just locked my hair because I don't want to shave my hair. So I locked my hair.
Oh yeah, it's in dreadlocks? I can't tell. It's in dreadlocks?
Yeah. I did dreadlocks, and I've just tied it a little bit to look a little bit fancy. So I'm trying to avoid my hair because I don't want my hair being touched by this non-making sense saloonists who can't even help. So I'm just cool. I'm okay with that.
It looks good. I don't know what you did, but it looks nice. I'm surprised. You did that yourself then? Okay, you did that yourself then, huh?
Yeah. I did the locks without even using the wax or anything. Just just me doing my thing, and I
All
locked
right,
my hair.
all right, you got some skills. Okay, anyway. But anyway.
New talent unlocked.
I thought you went to the hairdresser. It looks nice. But anyway, family, on to Africans organizing and realizing you're the power. So what Joby said, I'm gonna call Africans dummy. You've been made ignorant. You're not dummies. You've been made. You're not dummies. You've been made ignorant on purpose.
The world considers Africans like Trump.
Oh yeah, yeah. The world considers Africans dummies. That's true. Yeah. They consider you docile and dumb, and they love it because they consider you docile. Just like they also used to consider African Americans docile. We would call docile too, but you don't see that no more. Now we consider it aggressive. But in the beginning, they considered us docile. These docile ass niggas. They call us. So they call us docile too. So, because African people, your nature, you're kind, you're loving. That's by nature. And unfortunately, other people are not kind and loving. It's not their nature. Most other people are psychopathic, and we just didn't know that. So it's the hard thing of waking up a kind, loving people. Say, hey, you got enemies for real. You really have enemies. Everybody don't love you. Okay? They don't. We didn't do nothing to them, but they don't love us. And you got to act accordingly. So through education, right education, not just learning any old kind of stupid shit. Right side education, like Joby and Katie know now, if they were taught that as youth, as the youth were given education, Joby and Katie had over the last 3 years now, almost 3. Imagine what they would do. You'd be revolutions in Africa. After you just taught children that as children, coming in 5, 6, 7, then them having the knowledge of critical thinking skills, not being told what to think, but how to think. See, the African despots don't ever want that. They don't want an educated population because you overthrow their ass. You're like, hey, this don't add up. Something don't work right because you'll know that, and then you won't live in fear. So,
and it's so sad because I realized something yesterday. I was watching the people I follow on Instagram, majority of them make sense, majority of them don't. So there's this woman who I like her stories, and I like the way, especially because I've been following her because of the hair journey, because I'm trying to take care of my hair so much. So yesterday I saw her taking her child to the church, and then I judged her. Actually, I was just sitting there and I was like telling myself, you're really a smart lady, but why are you still going to church? But I was like, that is none of my business. Just me being thinking out loud myself, and I'm like, it's just the internet thing, so this should not even bother me. So I don't know. When you say actually when something happens we connect, it's like she read my mind from this far, wherever I was. Like she came out on Instagram again explaining, I really don't like going to church. I came to learn so much about the truth and all that. I have the fear of being criticized. So I'm like, wow, you have just the fear of being criticized. This is the problem why our revolution is, not taking place, because you can't move with the fear of still what people are thinking about you. When you know the truth, you need to allow your mind to blow up, and teach this to your child, because I felt so bad because she knows.
I agree, Joe, but people are afraid what other people think. But you live in the truth, Joby. You're now what? The minority.
Yeah, she said that. She explained actually very well, and I understood that point from the part of waking up and where people, how they pursue, especially with the group of people, let's say your workmates, your relatives, they see it's like something is wrong with you. It's like you're going insane. So she said she doesn't like going to church, but she has to keep up with it because, especially of her kids, of her child. No, one child. She has one child, and she wonders how she's gonna teach her child. Well, at school, they're being taught about Jesus, because, mind you, in Africa, religion is forced when it comes to education. So she's confused to tap the truth to this young baby, and educate her while she's being manipulated at the same time in class. So like, I really want to comment, but I can't comment. I don't know what to tell you at that point, because that's really confused. That's really messed up if you think about it. You as a parent, you're trying to educate your child, hey, this is how the world works. But when they go here, and which is also including caning, because in Africa we're being caned in school thoroughly, you're gonna be forced this information to stick in your brain. So you're like confused. It brings confusion of which is which. And I don't know, man. This one we talk about organization, and we talk about bringing Afrocentric schools where it comes in.
That's exactly that's where Afrocentric schools come in, or teaching your child at home. That's when you're going to have to start doing homeschooling. You have to do homeschooling.
It is crazy. Shout out to Sylvia Wanjira. She doesn't even know me, but I really love her. I just love her, the way she's a very confident woman, and I just love everything she's all about.
Africa, anyway, is she in Kenya?
Yeah, she's in Kenya. Maybe she can meet her today. I think she's a journalist or works in the journalist center one.
Why you'll never write her then? How about you do that? You know that Instagram nonsense shit. Send her DMs. I really like to interview.
Yeah, I'll try communicate to her. But anyway, family, much love. Asante sana, Mosquito. Thank you to you, Chairman. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for tapping the screen. But I'm coming towards the end of today's show. This has been the Pan-African Bliss. And of course, thank you so much to Keith for joining us. He's just left. And of course, for everyone who has been with me on Facebook, on YouTube, on Rumble Live, and those who have been with me on Spreaker, and shall catch this on Spotify. I hope you guys get to enjoy. And of course, have yourself a beautiful, beautiful, amazing, amazing rest part of your day. Tiwa Savage coming in with Dangerous Love. Hope you guys get to enjoy. John was going to say I managed to finish. Like, I really did. I tried my best. I really did try my best. But they look nice. Now I just need to find those ingredients. And you told me you're going to connect me or link me up to anything that you're going to find. So I'm waiting, Jerome Mosquito. On the WhatsApp chat, you can let me know anything that you know that can help me get rid of whatever we were discussing yesterday. And of course, much love. I hope I stay to this journey of having dreadlocks, because I can't. I've been there. I don't know. It's still a Savage Kid. The name of the jam is Dangerous Love.